Hello everyone. We are Shelters on the Block, a social impact NFT project. So, the problem that we identified, the city of Los Angeles has the highest homeless rate in the United States, and it has the second largest homeless population. The city is facing a multifaceted humanitarian crisis that has many potential solutions. Specifically, we have identified transitional housing as one of those possible solutions for the homeless crisis. These programs keep vulnerable people off the streets and it gives them a secure and stable place for them to get back on their feet. We have partnered with Uncle Dave's Housing, a nonprofit organization that will be receiving the proceeds from our NFT sale. Additionally, we have also identified the lack of human sympathy and understanding of some of the problems and issues that these folks are facing on the streets. In order to combat this, we will be launching an educational campaign that educates the broader public about the struggles faced by those on the streets. And so, what is our blockchain solution? We have submitted our Project Catalyst proposal under the challenge of demonstrating and monetizing impact. We plan to carry this out by creating a new type of NFT, and we plan to call these NFTs impact NFTs. So traditionally, when you make a donation to a charity or a nonprofit organization, it is difficult to trace your direct impact. But with impact NFTs, we can change this with the help of blockchain technology. Shelters on the Block will be a pioneer on this front by creating NFTs that are meant for donation first and utility second. Holders of the NFTs will still be of concern to us, but the social cause we have subscribed to will always be our main priority. With our project, we will be interviewing 16 individuals who have overcome homelessness at one point in their life and have them share their success stories. We will call these individuals sponsors. After the interviews, we will then capture a film picture of the interviewees and turn it into an NFT. The NFT itself will be a representation of their life story. And from the total collection of NFTs, we hope to raise enough capital to house 16 men for a total of 5 months each. And of course, we want these NFTs to keep on giving impact back. And so that's why we have implemented a 20% resale royalty. So whenever the NFT is resold on the secondary market, 20% of that will be returned to Uncle Dave's Housing. And we will also set them up with a wallet so they can keep receiving these funds. Up next, I'll share a video of an interview we have already conducted to kind of showcase the type of content we want to provide to our community.
Angel, the video is not working. As in, like, there's no sound. You need to change the audio settings.
Okay, that's fine. I'll just skip the video for now just to keep on going with the presentation.
Yeah.
So a little bit about our ecosystem. So as I mentioned, our method of donation is unique and that we will give tangible proof to donors that their funds have been used for the subscribed social cause. And in this instance, at the end of our campaign, we will return to Uncle Dave's Housing and interview the recipients who received the housing. We will capture a picture of them, interview them again, and then also turn that picture into an NFT. These NFTs will be airdropped to the holders of the sponsor NFT, and it will serve as proof to the donors at the beginning of the campaign that their donations have made real-world impact. Additionally, some additional utility that can be derived from our NFTs is that if you live in the US, you will be able to benefit from Uncle Dave's 501c3 status, meaning that if you purchase the NFT, it can be considered tax deductible. And this utility will only be available for original purchasers, not secondary market buyers. Additionally, NFT holders will have the ability to redeem and receive one physical copy of the film picture of the recipients at the end of our campaign. And of course, finally, there's the utility of the airdrops. And that is our presentation for the day. If you like what we're building here and want to show us support, here's a QR code for our idea scale and our Twitter. And thank you, Kumon, for putting this event together.
Thank you, Angel. Great presentation.
Yeah, thank you, Angel. Thanks for the presentation on the homelessness issue in Los Angeles. Um, Definitely something we see in US in general, in the downtowns, especially the downtowns which have been long back the center of the city now are kind of becoming like a really tough place for people to enter in sometimes, saying, okay, this has deteriorated over last 5 generations, sometimes like 100-year old buildings and things like that. And homelessness is a issue where we don't really talk about from a developed country in an open forum, and it's a true issue in US. And so when you look from the issue itself, from homelessness, like what are the main like for people to understand, what are the main issues that push people into homelessness in US? Like, how do you see as a cause?
So am I muffling?
Yeah.
Judge, yeah, now you can speak.
Oh, okay, perfect. So I could only speak for my experience interviewing and just learning about the situation in LA. And just from the experience that I've gained for the city of Los Angeles, it seems to me that a lot of it has to do with obviously like the prices of housing. But the city has implemented some strategies to try to combat this, and one of those is transitional housing, but not enough support goes to transitional housing. And you can also think of transitional housing as like group housing. So if you live in the city and you can't afford your own place, what group housing allows you to do is to move into a place where you'll have roommates. So you maybe there'll be like 2 people per room, and this is a great option for someone who maybe lost their job and don't have anywhere else to go. But as I mentioned before, these type of programs aren't popular, and they're not as prominent. And to go on with maybe another issue I see is that, at least from what I see in the city of Los Angeles, they're just throwing money at infrastructure. Like they're just building apartment complexes, or they're throwing money to hotels so they can house homeless individuals. But it's not all about just having a roof over your head. It's also about having a support system. So what I talk about when I talk about transitional housing is I talk about the amazing support system that it creates. The individual that we interviewed, his name is Mike, and he's a manager at one of the transitional homes. And he was homeless at one point in his life. And when he transitioned into a transitional home, he was able to have that support that pushed him to stay sober, to be responsible and get a job and keep that job. And it slowly transitions you back, as the word it tells, it's transitional housing. It like helps you transition back to the real world. Because based on some interviews that I've conducted, it seems like once an individual falls into homelessness, it's hard for them to get back out, because it's not just a financial problem and situation that they face, but it's also a mental situation, rather it be mental health issues or just in general learning how to be responsible again, like how I mentioned. Mike goes into awesome detail about his experience and how he was able to overcome it. We're hoping to drop that full interview very soon, and you can find that on our YouTube channel.
Thanks,
I really
Angel.
like your idea.
Sorry.
Yeah, I really like your idea on issuing NFTs. So I also suggest that now people who are like homeless and who are coming to this particular transitional home, it'll be great if we can like educate them on multiple, again, introducing them to what blockchain is, and different I would say subjects on different subjects where what decentralization is, and again gaining getting a job and getting out of homelessness. Might as well you have like an alternative where they'll be able to like get educated, upskill, and they'll be able to like add value when it comes to any Web3 ecosystem.
It's basically another program to empower them.
Yeah.
It's not just a housing issue, but if they have the financial independence and the stability, they'll be able to like sustain on their own. Like it's like teach man how to fish, right? It's not about giving a fish.
No, yeah, exactly. That's I think that's the second time we've heard that suggestion, so we're really taking that into consideration. We just got to think out about how we're going to implement that. I think maybe once
We
we
are
give
going
them,
to able to like, give that because we have already the modules to if the education
yeah,
modules everything set, we will be able to like extend that
yeah,
support.
yeah. It's just that at first sometimes these individuals are just focused on like just trying to get their life like kind of together, and they're not really thinking about educating themselves further yet. But so we plan to house each individual for 5 months. So I think maybe after 2 months they're situated, they've 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 gotten used to having a roof over their head. Maybe that's when we'll implement it. And that's something. A big thing about our project is we want to bring the community through this whole journey. So we want to show each time there's a new recipient, introduce them to the community, perhaps have the community show them support over like Twitter or over a Discord, so they can see that people are rooting for them and they want them to be successful in their transition back into permanent housing. And I think that'd be a perfect gateway to introduce them, like you said, about Web3, about these amazing opportunities that are in this growing ecosystem.
Yeah. One additional comment. Recently, I was in a PMP session, project management, and there was a professor, Nuno Gil. I had put the LinkedIn connection in the chat. He was talking about what is happening in Brazil. Sao Paulo was the example he took, and the people homeless are right next to people who are living in rich buildings. So it's like the slums versus the rich buildings. And in addition, there are buildings in the older context where the buildings are unoccupied. And what they did is they made like a community engagement. So they went into these buildings because these buildings are supposed to be occupied and they are not for some reason. And they when government stepped in, they said, okay, these buildings are supposed to be occupied, which is not occupied is a violation. So the second violation is them occupying it. So it's like, so the government steps in and funds them to build their own buildings. And this is an active, like almost like a community activity. They come together as a community. They have their own policies of no drug use, no abuse, and like that policies, strict policies for them to be members in that. And they come together, and because they are laborers, they can work and they can do their own buildings at a lower cost, and they can build. And so they become their own builders, and which is making a huge move. And they also work against the policymakers, so they go into demonstrations as a team, and so they help each other as a community. So it was a kind of a unique challenge the community had taken up, and they are bearing they are taking the responsibility to themselves to create these new solutions as a community. And would be good for you to check that out. And yeah, that may be another good connection. From US standpoint, we have a lot of unused buildings in the center of the downtown. So hopefully we'll be able to do something to change or bridge the two pieces and come out with a better solution.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that information. I'll definitely be checking it out.
Karan, you have some
Thank
question?
you.
Actually, Vinay, we are running out of time a little.
Yeah.
So I see a couple of hands up, but can we have the questions on the personal area post the session? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, Vinay?
Yeah, go on.
No, just wanna. I'm not going to take much of time. Just curious about the NFT part of it. So, like he said, he's going to give us a proof of, like how to say, evidence that they have helped someone, right? As the NFT is going to be hold. So, will it be like able to be listed in the secondary sales or something like that, or it's going to be more like transferable soul-bound NFT as such? So, I just want to have a clarity on that part alone.
So it'll be transferable, like you can put it on the secondary market so somebody else can buy it off of you. But only like the original purchaser from the actual like drop from our website, we plan for them to have like because so since it's a 501c3, which qualifies as a nonprofit, Uncle Dave's, they can like send out receipts that you have made a donation to them, and that can count as tax deductions. But that only could be used for the like you can I guess I can say the minters of the NFT, people who mint the NFT. But if if you see the NFT on the secondary market on like JPEG store, and you buy it, you really can't receive the benefits of the tax deduction. But you can you'll still be able to receive that airdrop that we plan to do at the end of our campaign. I'm not sure. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. I have some other things, but I'll ask you later on. No issues, right? Right. Let
Okay,
things carry on. Which is
perfect.